Well, today's a Thursday, but yesterday was Wrestling Wednesday. So that means we get to review AEW Dynamite without going head to head with NXT now they're on Tuesdays, but also going to review Major League Wrestling's latest MLW Fusion, but also have a little talk about the sudden release of Ivelisse. So all of that we'll reviewed and discussed about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I'm your host, J-Rod here. So let's begin with the latest MLW Fusion that took place this past Wednesday, which is yesterday. As you know, there's been now a bit of a problem with Salina De La Renta not being communicative with Azteca Underground, the group that bought Promociones Dorada. Apparently, Selena said that she has a foolproof plan to finally get rid of Hammerstone and to ensure that Mil Muertes becomes the new National Openweight Championship. Now, you probably say, what is that supposed to mean? Well, let's review what happened that way so you can understand those who are new to the channel, those who might have missed it. A couple weeks ago, or make that a month ago, Mil Muertes showed up while in the aftermath when Alexander Hammerstone put the National Openweight Championship on the line against LA Park. Now, what happened is, here comes Mil Muertes and attacks him, but at the same time, they took the title because Salina De La Renta likes gold. But apparently, there's been the amount of, how do I say this, of not communication. Now, Salina De La Renta was not happy since a bit of the restart of MLW, where someone purchased Promociones Dorada. Now, it's still unclear who it was, who's behind it, who's been financing these guys, especially Los Parks. They actually praises the El Jefe. That's the boss, is what they call him, El Jefe, which means the boss. So basically, I don't know what's going on, but it's becoming interesting story where it's like, okay, Selena wants to strike on her own, but she feels like she needs the guy, but she doesn't want. She wants to do things however she wants, but she needs the approval of El Jefe. So that's what I like about this story. Now, first match, it was the IWA Caribbean Heavyweight Championship. Now, that title first appeared before the pandemic. It was the previous owner was Savio Vega. Now, he brought the title as a way to show people, yes, I'm proud of this title, I'm proud of its heritage. But Richard Holiday took it. He actually took it, and he tried to claim that he's the real Caribbean Heavyweight Championship. But later, they made up a stipulation where, okay, whoever's the new champion is the one who gets to keep it. But now this dissension between former teammates, Richard Holiday, who was part of the Dynasty, took on Gino Medina, who Medina believes that he was not fit enough to be in Dynasty, but Richard Holiday confessed that, he only used them to get the Latin demographic. But the story goes, Richard Holiday claims that he fired Gino Medina. Medina said that he quit. It's the matter he should. But this match was good. I have to say, it kind of tell the story. It's like Richard Holiday is trying to prove a point, but Gino Medina is the guy who's saying, I am the untouchable. But what a great match, I have to say. I like it. I like how it went. But sadly, it went into Richard Holiday's favor when he pulled off this one move. I forgot what they call it, but he perfected it. So he retains the Caribbean Heavyweight Championship. Now, along the way, it's been revealed that Marshall Von Erich got injured in a, how do I say, the chain rope match with Team Filthy. Even though Marshall is a little agitated, he's getting sick and tired of Team Filthy getting involved. He wants to get back in the ring, but however, his dad shows up and gives the news to the boys that he got a call from Keiji Muto. If you guys don't know who that is, you may know him as the Great Muto, who is currently the GHC heavyweight champion. He called Kevin Von Erich, saying that he wants to give special training to Ross. Now, as much as Marshall would like to go, he can't due to the injury, and even Muto must be aware of it. You probably ask, why would he go to there? If you guys don't know this, before the Von Erichs landed in MLW, they were in Pro Wrestling Noah. So it made a lot more sense, those who don't know. But it's perfect way to, how do I say, to continue on the story. We don't know when they'll be back. We do know that Marshall is out for a couple months, but we'll see where they're going to go with it. Now, recently there was an interview with Alicia Toot interviewing TJP about his behavior towards Bu Kudao, who they had a little falling out during a tag team championship match. He attacked him, and basically he thinks that Bu Kudao is nothing. He's pathetic. He's a weakling. That he's the deal, but he thinks that he will prove his point, a lesson, and break him in half in their upcoming match next week. So that we got to be prepared for. Now, next match we have the MLW World Tag Team Championship match between the Dirty Blondes, along with Aria Blake, taking on Los Parks, accompanied by Selena De La Renta. This match also kind of went into a different direction other than the championship match. You can see that Aria Blake wanted to get in the face of Selena De La Renta because she gets in the way. So basically, as you know, the Los Parks cheat their way through by using the other LA Park's other son, LA Park Jr., who is somewhere lying around. Perfect opportunity so the ref won't see him. So that's what happened. So Los Parks won, but however, the cat fight continues until they break it off. Now, because of the main event, which is consistent of the MLW National Openweight Championship, we received a little message from Mads Kruger. Now, it looks like the Mads Kruger's rivalry towards Alex Hammerstone is far from over. Now, we do know that Neil Muertes wants the title, but however, Mads Kruger wants that title too in the name of Contra Unit. So, it's only a matter of time until Contra Unit gets that title. But the real question, will Hammerstone be able to retain the title but get back his belt? That is something that we need to see. Now, as you know, ever since the restart, there were rumors circulating about Leo Rush being there, and he did. He actually beat Myron Reed, who was the previous MLW middleweight champion. And he said that he will challenge anybody that comes in his way. He's not going to hold back. He said he's very talented. So he gave like more of a very good, interesting statement to make a point. But however, because of that, Myron Reed responded to what people have been saying. When is he going to get his middleweight championship back? Now, Myron said that that's his goal. But however, he had to do one thing that he needed, which is take care of Contra Unit. You know what I mean? Like, get that out of the way so he can focus on regaining the middleweight championship. So that's what he did. He gave a clear message to Leo Rush, like saying, let's go, let's do this. Rush and Reed part 2. Yep, part 2. I like that promo. It kind of explains it. Now, if you guys don't know, hardly we see the owners making an appearance, like Tony Khan, but he only made an appearance on certain occasions, like what happened with Brody Lee, and then, of course, he made that appearance on Elevation. But now it's been revealed that Court Bauer, who is the owner of MLW, will make his appearance next week. Now, this is the first time we ever seen Court Bauer. I know he's been mentioned a bunch of times during the MLW Fusion episodes, all of that. This is interesting if you're an MLW fan, because we know that the owners are the ones who are behind the scenes. But him coming out, that is rare. And I'm kind of curious where they're going to go with it. Now, let's talk about the main event, which is for the MLW National Openweight Championship between Mil Muertes along with Selena De La Renta taking on Alex Hammerstone. This was a battle of the behemoths match, if you guys don't know what I mean. You got two huge dudes with the same, similar height, similar weight. What more do you want? I think this is one of those matches that people will like to talk about. And like, you can tell that they try to outdo each other. You know, even Selena De La Renta was trying to direct Mil Muertes how to finish him. But whatever arsenal that both men would do, they will come out of it. Like, when you can tell when there's like 1, 2, 3, like, ah. So that sort of thing is what makes it amazing. But however, the one who becomes stronger and come on top was Hammerstone. People weren't sure if he will able to pick up Mil Muertes due to his size. And he did. And he pinned them 1, 2, 3, once again retaining the title, but regaining the belt that was stolen from him. But he did give out a strong message about being a fighting champion, that he will invite anyone who's willing to challenge him. But however, I would like to know what's going to happen now that this match did not go in favor of Promociones Dorada. I'm curious to see what El Jefe has to say, because that is something that I think Selena De La Renta has to find a way to get out of it. So I think that's it right now with the Major League Wrestling. So let's move on with AEW Dynamite. Okay, so we got AEW Dynamite. This is a very interesting thing that just happened when it started. As you know what happened at the main event last week. The Bucks turned their backs on Jon Moxley, but the Bucks gave their reasons why. So they realized Don Callis was right. They had to be that same Young Bucks that people remembered, you know, during the Bullet Club times. You guys know what I'm talking about. They were the ones that super kick anybody, whoever they want, however they want. And that, it's always been one thing. So apparently they said that certain things had to change, and that is exactly what's going to happen. They will remain as the same kind of Bucks that we remembered, but however, they said certain things have to change. Now, as you know, Mike Tyson has made his appearance last week, but it's revealed that he's going to be the special enforcer between a match between Dax Harwood and Chris Jericho. But MJF, I don't know what he was thinking. He was trying to weasel this way in. I think he was trying to get Mike Tyson to take his side. But Mike Tyson's not the kind of person who seems like he wants to be bought off or whatever. So basically he told MJF off and that kind of thing. So, but that's a little later in Dynamite. Now, the opening match was for the AEW World Tag Team titles between Death Triangles, Rey Fenix, and Pac taking on the Bucks. The Bucks come out with brand new gear, all this and that. And of course, Don Callis comes out and walks with them, escort them out, and of course, he joins commentary, you know. There were certain things, like they're still like the Bucks that people remember from years ago, how they were, you know, all of that. But it was a great match, a great opening match, in my opinion, you know, having this. And I loved how it went, but however, it ended in favor of the Young Bucks winning the match. But they're still they're now the old Bucks that we remember back in the day. So, who will be the lucky recipients? Because during the match, we had SCU, the Butcher and the Blade, best friends, who else? And of course, Jurassic Express looking on. Who will be the lucky recipients to face? Because right now SCU are currently number one. That is one of the things. I don't know who is in it. I think there were four of the five ranking recipients watching on. Don't remember who it was. I can't tell if it was FTR, but we'll see when we get there. Now, as you know, for that rankings that I mentioned, Hangman Page actually is number one. Now, what's his name? Alex Marvez was trying to get a comment for Hangman because he's currently number one. As you know, if he goes for the world title, that means that. But what I like about this is Hangman is kind of trying to avoid the subject. Like, he won't talk about it. But I think he is self-aware, knowing, yes, I might face my former tag team partner, my former friend. I don't want to talk about it. But he goes, hey guys, you want some egg rolls? I'll be right back. But at the same time, Marvez was right there with the Dark Order. John Silver was in rehab because you guys know that he hurt his shoulder. So I thought it was a very fun segment because Hangman wants to avoid the question. And of course, Marvez was right there. I thought it was a great segment. Sorry about that. Then we get another interview, but this time with the Inner Circle. Of course, we all know what happened where Mike Tyson showed up. There were rivals. But Jericho explained what happened. He said that they turned a new leaf after what happened when they had that vicious beatdown by... He calls them the Pineapple, but Santana had to tell him, no, it's the Pinnacle. You know. But he said the first person he called to issue the apology was Mike Tyson. So, of course, Mike Tyson accepted the apology. And, of course, he told him that he needs to cut this down the middle. And, of course, he said that he's not going to... Mike Tyson assured him he won't take sides. But if he does some funny business, he will punch him. And, of course, Chris Jericho has no doubt in his mind that he will do it. So that... But he did say that he has a full confidence in the whole thing. So we got to see what's going to happen. Now, this match has been going on for almost a month. This is the match between Red Velvet and Jade Cargill. I have to say, it was a very impressive match because it's like a female version of David versus Goliath. But I have to say, Red Velvet has impressed me a lot. Of course, Jade Cargill, she is a very athletic, very strong individual. You could see it would be a good match. And of course, both women were undefeated. But however, who will be the one to pick up the victory? And surprisingly, it was Jade Cargill, who is the one who came up victorious, claiming that she is that bitch. But the real question is, will she be the one to go for the AEW Women's World Title? That is something yet to be seen. But however, I have that distinct feeling that we're expecting someone that wants to get a little payback against Jade Cargill, and that person is Brandy. If you guys don't remember, Jade Cargill took offense to Cody about calling himself the Giant Killer, and she called out Shaq O'Neal as the true giant. And then Brandy said that who is she to come out and slap him and all this. But you know, she's saying that if Brandy comes back, that she's going to beat her up. And she claims that she's a far more better mom than her. Well, we don't know that yet because they don't do that whole thing that much. But if Brandy does come back, we'll see what happens. Now, as you know, Britt Baker believes in her mind that the rankings is a load of crap. Yeah, you heard me. So recently, she has not been appearing in Dynamite as a competitor, but she's been mostly using the Elevation and Dark as her way to raise the rankings, to go to the top. Now, accordingly, she believes that she is currently number 3. Now that Red Velvet is done, she is now going ranked down. But currently, the one person who is number 1 at this point is Tay Conti. But she said she will continue to make appearances in Elevation and Dark. So, we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's kind of interesting where Squared Circle Psychobabble mentioned she should be going for the title, and I think this is the opportunity that she needs to go for the title, because she should have been champion from the beginning. But whatever plans they started out from the very beginning, they had to do certain things. Now, we had the official AEW Dynamite debut of Anthony Ogogo in the match against Cole Carter. Now, Anthony Ogogo was part of the Nightmare Factory, turned on Cody and the rest of the Nightmare family, joining QT Marshall and the Factory. This match ended when Anthony Ogogo gave a very punch and Cole Carter could no longer move on. So basically, this is the same kind of injury that he gave Cody Rhodes twice, during the betrayal and the other during the house show they did on April 9th. So we'll see more about Anthony Ogogo down the line. Now, as you know what happened at Anarchy Madness, Arcade Anarchy, Miro originally did not want this match, but he did it for Kip, because Kip hasn't forgotten what happened at his wedding. But recently, Kip is now into hiding. I guess he realized he screwed up. Miro's not happy with them. So this looks like this is the end of Miro and Kip's friendship. So we don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see where they're going to go with it. Now we get to the match that we are expecting. We have Mike Tyson making his way, taking for the special match between Dax Harwood and Chris Jericho. This match was kind of interesting. Whenever one of these two knuckleheads actually have a weapon, Tyson removes it. He did say that he wasn't going to take sides, but however, that's what happened. But of course, you expect the unexpected. We see the Inner Circle, even the Pinnacle, getting in the way. But the best moment was when Cash Wheeler shows up with Floyd, the baseball bat, for those who don't know. He actually tries to whack Jericho, but Tyson comes up, and what happens next? Tyson goes up to Cash and blammo, he's out. But of course, Jericho ended the match with the Judas effect, which was amazing, allowing himself to win. But however, it does not end right there. Jericho just finally officially say Mike Tyson is now officially a member of the Inner Circle. Now, I know some of you will be like skeptical about this. Like, why would he do that? Like, why would Mike Tyson do it? Look, whatever the reason is, I know people say that we don't need celebrities involved. Look, WWE has doing that for years. You know, not to be mean to them, but it's a fact. Why not AEW? So whatever the reason is, I have to say it's going to be very interesting to see. But this would make an absolute more sense. If you guys know this, Tully Blanchard gets himself involved, but we could see like a 6-on-6 match for the Blood and Guts. Think about that. Think about that. That's going to be one hell of a match. Now, as you know, the Elite are back. Well, the Good Brothers are part of the Elite. But accordingly to, what's his name? Don Callis says, there's more to come. But the real question is, who's he going to get to back in the Elite? Now, some people would say, are they planning to get Hangman Page back? I don't know. Because he seems like he's happy being around the Dark Order, even though he's not a member. But he's happy. But the one thing how this whole interview ended is where Don Callis super kicked the camera guy. Yeah, you heard me right. He super kicked the camera guy. And that's what happened. Now we get the sudden... Now, as you know, Thunder Rosa has been making headway since arriving to AEW. She has two goals in mind. One, to obtain the AEW World Women's Championship and regain the NWA Women's World Championship that Serena Deeb has. Now, keep in mind, Serena Deeb is an official member of the AEW roster. That's the reason that she has it. So she's ready to go full steam ahead. But however, I have that distinct feeling that Britt Baker is not going to let this happen. It's because she claims that she is the true leader of the women's locker room and all that. But we'll see where this is going to go. Now, do we get this? We get the return match of the resident alien herself, Chris Statlander, who is now a member of the Best Friends, taking on Amber Nova, who made her debut on, I think, was it Elevation or Dark? I don't remember which one of the two. But anyway, it was a very interesting match. She's very powerhouse, that type. I love how she does her matches, including boop. But it's pretty interesting to see her back. I love Chris Statlander because she's an alien. But I figured it was going to end with her winning the match. So that's how it goes. If you guys recall, she was one time ranked, beat Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. The commentators made that very, very interesting. So could she be going for that title? I don't know. We'll see where they're going to go with this. Now, Team Taz has been waiting almost a week, the answer for Christian Cage. But Taz said, you're right, So he had Cage and Stark stay behind, while Christian was trying to set up a real a promo about what's next for him. But Team Taz wanted an answer. Christian Cage said no. He had Hobbs attack him. So basically, this is the reason Team Taz will not take no for an answer. It's the same thing that Taz had with Darby Allin. And he dismembered him outside the ring. So we probably will see another war with Taz and someone who says no. So if I was Christian Cage, I would ask Darby Allin for some tips. Now, the main event was the TNT Championship match in a Fall Count Anywhere between Matt Hardy and Darby Allin. Now, Matt Hardy gave perfectly instructions to the Hardy family office not to get involved. But it was a good match. Everything that Matt Hardy tried to pull off, it almost worked, but it did not. But as soon as he realized that Darby was getting the advantage, the Hardy family office came out, gave a beatdown to Darby, and then here comes the Dark Order and Sting. Now keep in mind, the Dark Order still has a bit of a rivalry with the HFO. But however, here comes Sting beating down on Private Party all by himself. But all of a sudden, we see Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. But the crazy part, as soon as they try to get in the ring, here comes Lance Archer backing up Sting. Now, Sting maybe officially thought he was going to attack him, but he didn't. He even actually put the blackout on Isaiah Cassidy. So this is what I said about Lance Archer. Could he be ditching Jake Roberts to side with Sting? Because Sting gave him a good motivation. He told him it's showtime. Be showtime. Maybe this is the beginning of it. I don't know. But the way the match proceeded, Sting gave Darby his bat. He leaves. And of course, Matt Hardy tried to do everything possible to ensure he wins the match, but nothing worked. But I think the best moment is, as soon as he gets the bat back, he actually, how do I say, took out Matt Hardy and won by applying a coffin drop 20 feet or yards away from him. And it allowed him to retain the title. So he's becoming a true fighting champion. I have to say, this is one of the best matches of the night. So I loved it and all this and that. But who will be the next challenger for the title? Who knows? So I love AEW, when this show was great. I'm not going to do the views on this, but if I did, I'll let you guys know how they both shows on NXT did without colliding. But I'll do that at some other point. So I think that's it with AEW Dynamite. Let's talk about the other subject I mentioned, Ivelisse. Okay, guys, I normally don't do this, but this one's going to be short. The latest news came around yesterday. Ivelisse has been let go by AEW. Some fans are probably questioning what happened. She tweeted saying due to the mistreatment, that's how her life has been. Now, people are a bit critical about things like this. Now, keep in mind, we have seen WWE time and time again. They've released wrestlers for some other reasons they're not being utilized, but this one was kind of different. Now, the first person who was released from AEW was Kylie Ray because she had some issues with herself. And of course, this was an amicable split. And the same thing happened with Impact Wrestling with Kylie, actually, when she just disappeared. And AEW had to release certain wrestlers because of the pandemic. Like Bea Priestley, Sadie Gibbs, Jimmy Havoc. No, Jimmy Havoc was released because of that whole thing with the speaking out movement. But that's what really happened. And Ivelisse, the story goes that Ivelisse at one time had backstage heat with the coaches, the producers. There were certain things that she did not like. Now, keep in mind, those who don't know about this, they were saying this is not the first time she was having backstage heat. And this was taking place when she was Impact slash TNA at the time. But it would make perfect sense because, think about it. AEW mentioned they're an alternative. They will not tolerate certain behaviors with wrestlers. And I think AEW had done a tremendous job. Keep in mind, Jimmy Havoc was amongst those that was, in fact, being out there during the speaking out movement. And they had to release him because they don't want to have bad publicity. If that's the case with Ivelisse, it would make more sense because you don't want to have negative things come into your brand. You want to keep it clean, keep it positive. And don't forget, ever since Tessa Blanchard was terminated by Impact, there were rumors are circulating that AEW were thinking, but later they decided not to because of Tessa Blanchard's baggage. But they kind of thought about to say, I don't think it would be worthy enough to have her with us because we're going to have bad publicity on this. And it's true. Keep in mind, AEW may be a new company, but they're trying to play things safe. It's the same thing now with Ivelisse because of her attitude. If that's the case, then it makes perfect sense. If you don't want people in that who have this type of attitude in your environment, then don't associate yourself with them because you want to keep the environment clean and positive as much as possible for everyone to get along. That's always been the thing. Even Aubrey Edwards mentioned this on the podcast with Tony Schiavone that there's hardly any fights. But if this really did happen, then AEW made the right decision to ensure we don't need this type of attitude in our place. We need you to go. It would be a perfect example because if you guys know this, WWE always have people fighting each other all the time. They don't keep things clean. There's always fights going around verbally. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. So I praise AEW for being that company saying, we don't want this attitude. Goodbye. But the real question is, what's going to happen next? We get to hear from Ivelisse. But for now, let's just wait and see what's going to happen. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.